objective of the runs test to assess the randomness in the data. So whenever we are required to test the randomness in the particular variable, we would have to employ the runs test provided that our sample may be random or non-random in nature. Now students, as you're well aware that we can make use of the runs test to test the randomness in the data, so you can also make use of the SPSS software to test the randomness in the data by employing the runs test. So we would be discussing the data requirement or the variable that is being required. So you would know that how we are going to define the variable in order to test it for randomness using SPSS software. So students, the problem in hand is, it is the data which is being shown to you in form of a table that is depicting the departure from normal of daily temperatures recorded at Atlanta, Georgia during November 1974. You are required to test the pattern of departures above and below normal, that whether this particular sample is a result of a non-random process. So if you just note down that the data or the departure from normal temperature is being given. So there are a total of 30 observations, and as you can observe that some of the deviations are positive, whereas rest of the observations are negatively deviating from the normal temperature. So if you just open up the SPSS window, so when you start your SPSS software, so you would be given with this particular window. Now students, under this window, just note down onto the left bottom corner, there are two buttons, namely data view and variable view. And now if you just note down that I've clicked onto the variable view, so it is being highlighted here. So once I've clicked onto the variable view, there was only one variable that is to be defined in order to test the runs test for randomness. And that variable of interest is, so students, as you know, कि आपका जो variable of interest था उसका नाम था departure from normal temperature. Now, in order to define the variable name into SPSS, you would have to separate the words by making use of the underscore sign. So shift को hyphen के साथ अगर आप अपने keyboard पे press करें तो you would be getting this underscore sign. So departure underscore normal underscore temperature is being defined as the variable which is to be tested for possible randomness in the data. Now its type would be numeric because we would have to add numerals under this particular variable. And if we just move on, the measurement for this variable, departure from normal temperature, it is scale. So as you know that this data is a non-categorical, that means the data is quantitative. So its measurement would be scale. Once you are done with the definition of the required variables to test the possible randomness in the data, now you click on to the data view. So bottom पे, left bottom पे अगर आप देखेंगे ये button आपको नजर आएगा with the name of data view. I've clicked on to that. Once I've clicked on to that, it is showing me the defined variable as departure underscore normal underscore temperature. So up students आपको क्या करना है, the way the data is being given to you, you would have to enter it. As you have observed that some of the deviations were positive, whereas some of them were negative. So the way that data is being given to you, you would have to enter the entire data. As you know that we have 30 observations in total, and couple of the observations, if you just observe from 25 till 30, they were negative in nature. So negative values as well as positive values under this particular variables are to be defined and they are to be entered. Once you have entered the entire observations under this variable, that will complete your process for defining the data and variable for testing the runs test by making use of the SPSS software.